This evening, we'll time out those storms, plus more storms possible on Sunday, a level 2 of 5 threat. We'll talk more about those storms, plus when to expect more rain next week.
Plus, a tough day. Power has been restored, but thousands of people in the Triangle spent hours without air conditioning in today's dangerous heat. We'll tell you the neighborhoods affected. Also, fixes underway. Crews are now working inside 3 Wake County elementary schools. We'll show you what's being repaired and why it matters before students return. The WRAL News at 6 is next. Well, we are keeping a very close eye on the radar here tonight. There is a severe watch in places for our northern counties through 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us. I'm Eric Miller. It's, of course, a WRAL weather alert day with some dangerous heat out there in addition to those scattered storms. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with what you can expect for the rest of the evening. Grant.
I want to start with this new warning, a severe thunderstorm warning issued for Mecklenburg County, Virginia, moving into Chase City now. Could impact South Hill over the next 15 to 30 minutes. It's gradually working its way east and northeast. The main threat with this storm is damaging wind gusts, but you could see some heavy rainfall, also very frequent lightning, especially on the north side of this storm. So north of Clarksville, north of Carr Lake, up towards Chase City, you can see a lot of lightning there working its way east and northeast. Going to be watching our South Hill camera very closely. Our Carr Lake camera, unfortunately, is out for the time being. Going to work on to get that back up. But you can see some low cloud cover and some dark skies as storms slowly approach that area. Some more storms just to the west, north of South Boston and Halifax, slowly working its way closer to Chase City. So you could have another round of a few storms here shortly. Again, the severe watch goes through 9 p.m. this evening for our northern counties. Damaging wind gusts, the main threat, a level 2 of 5 threat for our northwestern spots. We'll talk more about the timing of storms tomorrow and when to expect another severe threat into next week. That's coming up.
I'm Elizabeth Holmes in the WRAL Live Center. We are tracking severe weather now impacting flights here at RDU. For example, on the East Coast, severe weather there impacting major hubs like Newark and LaGuardia. And then those Canadian wildfires causing problems at major hubs in Minneapolis, Detroit, and Cleveland. Right now, 38 cancellations at RDU and 150 delays. Eric?
Elizabeth, thank you. The high temperatures outside are bad enough on their own, but thousands of people are dealing with power cuts in parts of Morrisville and Durham, leaving many having to take a day without air conditioning. The WRAL's Bailey Stamos is live for us at one of the locations that was opened up to provide some relief to people who need it. Bailey, what do we know right now?
Duke Energy's live outage map is showing that power is back up and running for many of those areas that were impacted most of the day today. We're at Morrisville Fire Department, where a makeshift shelter or cooling center was opened up so that people who are dealing with power can cool off here. We do know that a transformer fire was the reason for Morrisville's outages. It's unclear how many households were impacted, but parts of Durham were also dealing with outages during some of the hottest hours of the day. We were able to speak to a man who runs a fruit stand at the intersection of Gear Road. That's the area that faced the loss of power in Durham. Those outages leaving many close calls on the roads and at that intersection.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people come through this light, and some of them do the four-way stop like they're supposed to, but then a lot of them get impatient, blowing the horn and blowing through the light. So I'm surprised there hasn't been any accidents today.
WRAL is still waiting to hear back from Duke Energy on just how many households were impacted by these outages today and why. And it's still clear that some of those households are not in the clear. Dozens are still without power, and we're still working to get answers on that. Bailey Stamos, WRAL News in Morrisville.
Bailey, thank you very much. And of course, you can stay connected with the WRAL weather app. You can track air quality conditions, the heat and thunderstorms all in real time. And you'll get important alerts sent right to your phone. Just make sure notifications are turned on. To breaking news now, U.S. Central Command says 2 U.S. service members were killed by Iranian missiles and drone attacks. They're the first U.S. troop deaths from direct Iranian fire since the war's early days. The 2 were killed. Another is missing after an attack on a base in Jordan on Friday. Iran's supreme leader warns of, quote, unforgettable lessons if the U.S. continues its attacks. And Tehran says it has suspended its commitments to the interim deal signed with the U.S. The names of the service members killed have not been released. We're working to learn whether they have any connection to North Carolina. Taylor Fresh Foods is recalling iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico that may be linked to that ongoing cyclospora outbreak. The lettuce was distributed from June 29th through July 16th in 27 states, including here in North Carolina. The company says no other products are affected, and Taylor Farms salad kits are not included here. The recall comes after the CDC linked cases of cyclosporiasis to lettuce served at some Taco Bell restaurants. The CDC says nearly 7,000 cases have been confirmed or are under investigation. To see a full list of the recalled products, go to the FDA's website. And of course, you can count on WRAL to bring you developments as cases rise and health officials identify exactly which products are unsafe. Find in-depth discussions on the symptoms people are experiencing and what to look out for so you don't get sick. That's all on the WRAL YouTube page.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, we are monitoring protests happening across the nation as people speak out against ICE operations. This is video from a protest earlier in Charlotte today. Now, this comes after 2 men were shot and killed by ICE agents earlier this month, one in Maine and one in Houston. Now, DHS did cite self-defense and fear for public safety for both of those shootings. And at one point, officials said that they would stop traffic stops, which was the case for both of these killings. And President Trump shot back saying that that would hinder ICE operations. So this is a developing story. We'll share the latest here on WRAL. Eric.
A lot going on there, Elizabeth. Thank you. Happening today, work is now underway to fix structural issues at 3 Wake County elementary schools. We saw contractors at work this morning inside one of those schools. Inside Durant Road Elementary School, X marks the spot. Contractors need to install rebar support beams here to fix the school's serious structural issues. That means crews will be cutting into the cinder block walls and into the ceiling. It's a big job, and the clock is ticking. Durant Road is one of 3 Wake County elementary schools with problems that need to be fixed before students and teachers can return to class. However, Durant Road is the only one of those 3 that's on the year-round calendar, which means there's no time to lose. Even so, the work here won't be complete before classes resume on July 30th. Fortunately, Abbott's Creek Elementary, a traditional calendar school, sits right across the road. So that's where the school year will start for both Durant's kids and teachers. School officials hope the work at Durant Road will be done by August 17th, at which point Abbott's Creek staff will move back in and prepare for their school year, which is expected to start on time. Now, there's a caveat here. If the work at Durant Road is not finished by August 17th and Abbott's Creek teachers can't get into their school, the school board may need to reschedule their planned teacher work days for another time during the school year. The board will hear about all of this at its Tuesday meeting this coming week. All 3 schools with structural issues were built back in the 1990s. Principals sent messages to families indicating that the schools were not built according to their construction plans. Duke Energy customers will see rates rise 3.7% over the next 2 years. The company says that money will help pay for infrastructure upgrades. Duke Energy Carolinas mainly covers the western part of the state, including Guilford, Alamance, and Mecklenburg counties. Duke Energy Progress customers could see rates rise 18% over 2 years if regulators approve Duke Energy's proposal. Still to come here, making a difference. One job can have a bigger impact than you might think. Coming up, we'll explain how those positions help students beyond the lunch line.
Happening now in the Live Center, a tractor trailer has taken down some power lines in Zebulon. This is off of North Arundel Avenue. You can see it appears that a Food Lion truck is involved. Law enforcement there on scene. Northbound traffic is being diverted to East Judge Street. Southbound traffic to the area around Town Hall. We were told that Duke Energy has been notified. Eric.
Elizabeth, thank you. Today, people got the chance to become part of the team that helps feed and support Wake County Public School students. The Child Nutrition Services Job Fair was held at Southeast Raleigh Magnet High School. WRAL's Kirsten Clark spoke with people there about the importance of these jobs and what it means for those kids.
With 20 years of nutrition experience, 5 of them working with children in public schools, Dominic Ruvolo is certain about his passion.
You get to learn their personalities, you get to see them grow, you see their challenges.
Ruvolo recently moved to Wake County from Denver, Colorado, where he worked as a manager in child nutrition services.
Nutrition helps in learning and education and everything else. So I think a lot of times we get overlooked, but it is an integral part of the education system.
Wake County schools officials say there are currently about 60 vacancies in child nutrition services across the school system. Most of the roles are for cashier assistants and assistant managers. CNS Director Tiffany Lawrence says the goal is to have those positions filled by the time traditional classes start in just over a month.
We have a need to make sure that when the kids come to school in August that we are fully staffed so we can support them and they can come in and learn to their fullest potential.
She says more than 100 applicants visited the job fair, an uplifting sign for hiring managers.
They will bring them in for a more in-depth interview with more questions. They're also helping them fill out applications, and then after that, once they get hired, they'll go to background and things like that.
The next steps for eager applicants like Ruvolo, who, when asked about a future in Wake County Public Schools, said,
I sure hope so.
In Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Well, turning now to our forecast here, Grant, it's just been brutal outside lately. I mean, is there any change on the horizon? I mean, even these storms out there not providing a lot of relief.
Yeah, well, thankfully there's some relief by at least Monday, and we'll have some upper 80s maybe in the mix later next week. So I'll show you that in the 7-day forecast. Looking forward to that. I do want to start with the storms that are active right now. A few more storms could make their way in from the west, but the strongest storm right now is in Mecklenburg County, Virginia. A severe warning until 6:30 p.m. This includes South Hill. This is gradually working east and northeast. I think the south end of the storm could clip South Hill. The good news is not seeing as much lightning with this storm, so I think this storm is slowly weakening as it moves north and east, but some brief strong wind gusts, heavy rain and lightning can't be ruled out. It's a lot darker now from South Hill, Virginia. Again, looking at some of those storms close by. A severe thunderstorm watch is in place through 9 p.m. I'm not expecting widespread storms this evening, but 1 or 2 stronger storms can't be ruled out as some isolated storms move in from the west. Again, not everyone is going to see some storms this evening, but that threat is there. So that's why the watch is in place. Here's Futurecast starting at 7 o'clock. You can see by later this evening some isolated showers move in, but they'll be a lot weaker than they were back to the west. I think a little bit weaker than what you saw earlier today, but a brief strong storm can't be ruled out. We're then quieter by Sunday morning. This is 6:45, just some scattered cloud cover to start the day tomorrow. But then later in the day tomorrow, we see another chance for storms closer to 4, 5 o'clock. So later in the afternoon, some isolated storms start over the area and they become more scattered through 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. And they gradually work south and east through the area. Again, some of these could be strong to severe. The main threat with those will be damaging wind gusts, but heavy rainfall, lightning will also be very possible with those. And then by Monday morning, maybe some brief lingering showers before we see more chances for storms on Monday. So it's WRAL Weather Alert Day Sunday. Storms starting in the afternoon. They continue through early Sunday night. There's a localized flooding threat, plus a threat for some damaging wind gusts as well. The level 2 of 5 threat is in place for our entire area for damaging wind gusts. And there's the flooding threat next. That covers almost the entire area. That's going to be for some localized flooding across the region. So keep that in mind as well. Storm chances are still elevated into Monday, so scattered storms possible then with the low-end severe threat. Watching another storm chance on Wednesday. We already have an area to watch across parts of North Carolina into Virginia. Also into D.C. as well, and up into parts of New Jersey. This would be for damaging wind gusts with the cold front moving through, bringing more storms. But check out these rainfall totals over the next week: 2.5 to 3 inches, as much as 5+ inches towards the coastline. I'll believe it when I see it, but I would love to see that across our area because that rain is going to be through Wednesday of this week. It's drier beyond Thursday, and we'll have some cooler temperatures. Yes, upper 80s is cooler in my book because of how hot it's been. But yeah, some relief is in sight after some storms and some hot weather this weekend.
Yeah, definitely, Grant. I'll take the 2 numbers instead of the 3 any day. Well, with all of this heat, Pat, it leaves you pining for football season. You want to be sitting inside on the couch watching that TV, and hey, we're almost there.
Oh, you're really painting the visual for me. It was great. A little bit better than just being in a hotel like I was the last few days, but at least I got to talk to our local teams, including NC State's Duke Scott. This guy gives me a great feeling about the Pack this season, why he's ready to seize the backfield next. It's not a lie if you believe it. Bryson DeChambeau doing his best. George Costanza at the Open Championship. He was assessed a 2-stroke penalty for improving his lie. Well, after protesting, he threatened to withdraw from the tournament, but he's back for today's action. Honesty, the best policy for DeChambeau. Round 3, DeChambeau calls the rules official over to tell him the ball moved, but he did not touch it. DeChambeau had some fun with nearby fans as well. Polarizing guy, but he makes golf more interesting. DeChambeau powers it out of the rough there. He's 6 under for the tournament. Raleigh native Ryan Gerard in contention. The Ravenscroft alum saves par on 18. He's 3 strokes off leader Sam Burns. And Burns finished second at the U.S. Open. Thought he'd be on paternity leave for the British, but baby came early, and Burns has a 54-hole lead at a major. Courage at Bay FC, 14th minute. Look at the speed on Carly Lima. Fortunately, she's on Bay FC. Outruns 2 Courage defenders, somehow fights off the goalkeeper, scores at an impossible angle. Incredible stuff. Then about a minute later, Bay FC beats the Courage on a long ball again. This time it's Alex Pfeiffer on the receiving end. She gets it to Lima for the brace. Courage dropped their second straight, 3-0. His name is Jaden, but his mom called him Duke, and it's stuck. I caught up with Duke at ACC kickoff. The sophomore is ready to seize the packed backfield this season.
Here's a carry on first down to Duke Scott. In a foot race. Scott inside the 20, and he is taken down at the 5.
How does it feel entering the year knowing that you got a chance to be the bell cow for this offense?
It feels amazing. It's a great experience. Just knowing that I earned it, I worked for this role, and it's just an exciting feeling. I feel blessed.
And it comes with the #1 jersey, which is pretty coveted and doesn't often go to offensive players. So what did you have to do to convince Dave Dorn and the team that you deserve to wear, the single digit, as you see right behind me, it looks fresh?
Given that honor, it's a special thing, and I just, I'm always true to myself. I always just, the biggest thing I did was just stay true to myself, do what I do, and do what I always do. So just being given that honor, like Coach D told me in the office, he was like, these people, they said if they need to get out of a rabbit hole, they'll pick you to do it. And it was just a special honor that I didn't realize that I had for my teammates.
You were on the freaks list last season, and I saw some of your weight room numbers. Like, in the suit, you look sleek, but there's some serious power underneath there. What kind of stuff are you doing in the weight room that made you deserving of being on the freaks list?
Well, Coach Thunder, he gets us right. Coming in as a freshman, I've hit numbers now that I've never thought I would hit in my life. Yeah. So it's like Coach Thunder's program, what he has us doing is a special thing. Like his I guess his way of how he goes about things, it's crazy.
And now this from Duke Scott, touchdown Pack!
I mean, last season finished really well, right? Won 4 of the last 5 games, win the bowl game. You had the huge game versus Georgia Tech. Can that carry over, or is there so much changeover that it doesn't necessarily even matter?
I think it can carry over. I think we're going to use the momentum that we've built through those games, through Georgia Tech, through even Memphis, winning Memphis. And, that first half, we looked really good as an offense and as a team in general. So I feel like we're going to use that momentum, use the leadership skills that we've built this year to just push us through starting in Virginia.
So we got Duke Scott and Davion Bullet Goss from UNC in the backfield. Going to be some powerful runners back there this year.
I can't wait to see how it all turns out this fall. Pat, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us here this evening. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you right back here a little later.